So she filed a suit. She won at the first court. She won something like $3 million. It then went up to the appellate court, and it was reduced to something like $200,000. And then it went all the way up to the United States Supreme Court, and they awarded her nothing. Because they said she should have been aware when she first got hired that she was making less, and she should have filed her action then. Now, by virtue of the bill that was signed into law by President Obama in January, that will never happen again in this country. So part of looking back is looking forward. When you look forward for the next 20 years, what do we see? Personally, I hope we see more women in Congress. Right now, women represent only 17% of those elected to the Congress of the United States. We represent over 50% of those who vote, and yet we represent only 17% of those elected to Congress. But I want to see more women in Congress. I want to see more women in state legislatures. I want to see more women on the school boards and on the city councils and the boards of supervisors. Now, you may be saying, what does this have to do with me? It has everything to do with you. You have got to start thinking yourselves of being part of the community of women who runs for public office. I want some of you who have always thought about running but have always been hesitant to stand up right now. Come on, stand up. And if no one stands up, we're in deep trouble. Okay, that's the first step. Now you've said it. Now each of us have got to come up to you and say, we'll help, because that's what it's really all about. Earlier we heard Meg Whitman, who's running for office as a Republican. I encourage her and I encourage all of you, regardless of your political affiliation, to provide more female choices and more female voices to the political arena. There are very real issues that will only be addressed when more women are in the halls of power. Equal pay, health care discrimination, violence against women, and a more compassionate workplace that takes into account needs of working families are all victories brought only after women engaged in the system. Today, there are things we are just beginning to address that I hope will be footnotes in history by the time we gather for the 40th anniversary. Issues like the use of dangerous chemicals such as BPA in children's products, like pacifiers and baby bottles. The chemical bisphenol A was originally developed as a synthetic estrogen to be given to women during menopause. It was later discovered that it also softens plastic, and so was reconfigured to the use in children's products. But even manufacturers agree that trace amounts of the chemical can leach from products and enter a child's system. Estrogen being ingested by infants. Do I need to go any further to explain why this is wrong? And children aren't the only Americans ingesting dangerous substances. The average woman uses between 10 and 25 personal care products a day. All right, I'll confess, I'm more on the high side than the low side. Yet 1/3 of all cosmetics contain one or more ingredients known to cause cancer, birth defects, or reproductive harm. These include such glamorous substances as coal tar, formaldehyde, lead acetate, and toluene. These poisons aren't allowed in our foods, but are perfectly legal to apply directly to our lips, our skin, and our hair. Nearly all lipstick sold in the United States contains lead, a powerful neurotoxin causing brain damage, learning problems, infertility, and miscarriage. It has been eliminated from paint, drinking water, ceramics, and jewelry, and just last year, Congress took action to remove it from toys. You know, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I assure you, if lead was found in a traditionally male product like beer, there would be a new Manhattan Project to solve the problem. So while the EU has banned thousands of these substances from cosmetics, we have only banned 10 in the United States. Just one of many examples of how things are still very discriminatory. In the years to come, I hope I will be reporting on the great successes of a new Presidential Commission on Women. I introduced a bill earlier this year to establish a commission on women, a Presidential Commission on Women, patterned after a similar commission that President Kennedy employed. And the chair of that particular commission was former First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. This commission will be made up of a cross-section of American women from every political viewpoint and will be charged with examining the status of women and uncovering areas where society needs to address, prevent, and reverse discrimination and inequities. So the point is, while it's fun to look back and exciting to peer into the future, it's what's happening today that is most important. Today, you all made an important statement by just being here. We all know the saying, the Lord helps those who help themselves. Well, the same rule applies in business and in politics and every aspect of life. By being here, you are helping yourselves. Arming yourselves with better knowledge, stronger business skills, more contacts, and new friends. But you are also helping each other, future generations of women, and society as a whole. Because you are the face of PBWC. And from where I'm standing, I can tell you what a beautiful face it is. Thank you.
Come back up here for a second. So, Jackie, on behalf of California and the women of California and PBWC, please accept this as a token of our admiration and affection and true thanks for all you've done for the past 20 years. So please take this on our behalf. And remember us in Washington. Thank you all.